don't know if you saw the news, but they did find Owen.
I just saw that right now.
Yeah,
So that's too bad.
it is. It's not what anybody wants to hear, but again, hearts go out to the family for sure. Like
Yeah, no, that's tough. That's tough.
It is. I mean, here's the thing about Brandon. Everybody got involved.
Yeah,
like people were out there, um, looking for anything they could, and it says something about our town. I'll give it that.
yep. People do like to come together when there's a need, when there's urgency, right?
Absolutely.
Something bad
Absolutely.
happens.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
So how was your week, man?
My week was it was pretty laid back. I didn't do very much. I did a couple light workouts, so it was good. Had a couple massages. So
I was in hey, Polar Bear, how's it going? I was hurting for a bit. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that vaguely later, but yeah, like I felt like I got hit by a bus, and it's funny because at the gym, I'm all about form. Like I'm strict with form.
Sure.
But when you're doing something that's a little more intense and you get sloppy with your form and your body pays for it, because I knew exactly. Hey, Pebbles.
Yeah,
and you know exactly.
The get her done mentality kicks in, right?
The get her done. It was nut up or shut up, and it looks like I nutted up.
It's good. That's good. Well, how old are you now? 53 was it?
Shut the hell up. I'm 40. I am 48, and I'll tell you what. I'm not bad for a 48-year-old. There is worse.
That's fair. But there's some really crazy fit people in their late 40s. I am not one of them, but they're out there.
You're in pretty good shape, but you're Asian, so you're fast.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's you
it's
got
the rice.
That advantage.
It's all the fast energy.
Is that what it is?
Right. Yeah. It's the quick burning fuels.
It's like jet fuel.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I would it be fair to say that we are, because you and I are close to the same age, aren't we?
Yep, 47.
Okay. So would it be fair to say that we are younger 47, 48 than our parents were at 47, 48?
Oh, absolutely. I was just talking about that with a client. Actually, I was saying that I remember when my grandparents, I saw a picture of them when they were in their 60s. And back then, if you were 60, that was old.
You know what's sad is that if you look at the sitcoms we watched back in the day, like Archie Bunker was younger than us.
Yeah,
when he was on that show.
Which is crazy.
It is crazy. Oh, Polar Bear's, can you see the chat? Because Polar Bear's complimenting your lightsaber.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's my toy. Let's see if it's got any juice in it. No, I gotta charge it up.
It's not lit?
No.
How is it glowing? It looks like it's glowing.
I've got an LED stream back there because I was trying to look all
hey Molly
youthful. So I could do this. Hey Siri, turn the ceiling lights off.
Your whole house is wired.
She's not gonna listen to me now, is she? Right now,
it's your accent. You got to slow it down.
Yeah, it's all the R's.
My lightsaber is right there. I don't know if anybody can see that next to my Star Wars poster. But I've also got I'm a nerd too. Tell me something. We talked about red flags, green flags, and beige flags? Did we not? Did we talk about beige flags?
You mentioned beige flags, and I don't know what that means.
Okay, so a beige flag. Let me see. I'm going to get the actual. Anybody in chat know what a beige flag is?
Yeah, inform us. We're Gen X, and we're ill-informed on this new language that they use.
Why did I even use Google? That's stupid. Use my chat. Use my AI. AI knows more stuff. Who knows what a beige flag is?
Well, here's a Reddit answer. And it's not. What? No, where did it go? No, that was not a good description. That was really vague and.
Okay, I'm going to read this out, okay? A beige flag is a quirky or mildly odd trait someone has, especially in dating, that's neither a deal breaker, like a red flag, or a green light, like a green flag. It's more like a, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Think of it as a harmless behavior that makes you pause, chuckle, and carry on. So a beige flag would be like, say your partner has this weird thing about them that, you know what, he's safe or she's safe. Like they're not going anywhere. This is not anything that's going to kill anything.
Yeah.
But I asked Kelsey one day, I go, because I learned about this. I go, hey, Kelsey, do I have a beige flag? She goes, oh God, yeah. I'm like, well, that was pretty quick. I go, what the hell is my beige flag? She goes, well, you socialize never. Right. You don't go out. You don't mingle. You really, you're just a really kind of a weird introvert. I go, what does that mean?
Just a modern day hermit, right?
Right. She goes, but you can talk to people on a podcast. You can talk to thousands of people through TikTok. You can host events, but you don't go anywhere. And I go, okay, so what does that mean? She goes, nothing. It's just kind of weird. So it's kind of a safe, not a deal breaker, but nothing that would attract you to a person.
Yeah, like it's just one of those things that say where you just go, well, that's just weird, but okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, like no one's gonna make fun of your husband because he's playing Fortnite. Hey, Molly,
playing Fortnite, yeah. Video games.
Well, there you go. Like there would be a beige flag, I'm guessing, for
it's an Asian guy. Is that what you're saying? You're saying all Chinese people like video games? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think Molly's a Chinese dude.
Okay. Yeah, no, I thought it was a personal attack on me here, personally.
So. No, the fact that you're Chinese is not a beige flag.
Yeah, no.
Why do you have to go there? Now. No, I think that it's. Hang on.
Well, some people don't think video games are beige flags. Some people, that'd be a flat out red flag in a second.
I guess it depends if you're addicted to it, right? Like if you're spending more time doing that than anything else. But I mean, everybody needs a hobby, and we have different hobbies now. Yeah. Like it used to be fishing, or I go hunting. Like Kels could care less about eating deer meat. She will if I make it right. She'll eat it. But okay, my motorcycle.
Yep.
It's like it's there. She's not into it, but I don't think Molly is a guy. Well, you're Molly. We don't want to assume anything here. And Molly could be an Asian name. How would you say that in Chinese?
Yeah. I don't know. How do you say Lululemon if you're Japanese, right?
You can't say Lululemon if you're Japanese. Yeah. Okay. I gotta say, this is a coconut rum, which I'm happy with. Have you ever bought something based on packaging alone?
No. Oh, never. One of the first bottles of booze that I bought, Crown Royal.
Okay.
Remember? Right? Came in that nice little bag.
I might have some regrets here, but I picked up something today. I went to the liquor store. I wanted just something to sip on. And I want you to guess what this is. I'm going to cover up the what it is. What is that?
That just looks like oil, right? A can of oil.
It sure does. Okay.
Is it an energy drink or something, or what is it?
No, this is a bottle of booze.
Okay.
It's gin from Italy.
Gin. Engine. Yeah, okay. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's very clever marketing.
This looks like something my Uncle Donnie would have made in Sifton and packaged it like this.
Yeah, in an actual metal tin, right?
We're gonna dig into this after I've sipped on my coconut rum. Curiosity got the best of me. Like, am I a gin drinker? Yeah, this is, guys, at your local liquor store.
Yeah,
it's organic.
Organic gin too. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's made very gently and then put into it. Like it's an oil can. Like why?
That's just cool. That's just fun, man.
And it's a 500 ml bottle. So I paid about as much as I would have been for a 750 ml bottle of anything else, but for a tin can.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's not good.
Well, you're going to find out really soon.
I'm going to. Yes, Captain Morgan's coconut rum is...
That one is tasty. I will say that. So
it's tasty. It's a sipper.
We have a, what is a vanilla something? Vanilla Captain Morgan, because we use it for, we were making a creme brulee martini one day or something. Yeah, and I don't know. It was fun.
That sounds like a pinky up drink.
It was no more of a diabetic coma drink because you literally had to blow towards the top to get the sugar and get sugar melted on top of it to caramelize. It was really cool.
Talk about diabetes and spiking insulin levels. I decided that I was going to take the kids for a Slurpee today, which doesn't happen often. And because I'm a super generous dad.
So you let them get the medium size on $2 any size day.
Incorrect. We went with a large, thinking, you know what? Kelsey and I are painting the deck. Yeah. Maybe they'll go burn off some steam. Did they? Hell no. They sat in the room. They sat in the house and sucked these suckers back, which I'm assuming that 3/4 of that cup is pure sugar.
Yep.
And the amount of energy that they had, because they don't do that, was kind of nightmarish. Luckily, we're doing a live stream, so Kels gets to try and put them to bed later on.
It's kind of like
perfect.
Shaking up a bee's nest there, eh?
It is.
You're gonna be bouncing off the walls there.
That's okay. I'm not going to be in there to see it.
Even better. Jeez.
Yeah. So beige flag. What do you think your beige flag is, Jay? Your pearl
My beige flag, absolutely being a little bit nerdy. So every Christmas we go through Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah.
The extended versions and everything. We stay home Christmas Day or as long as we can. And we put Lord of the Rings on. Watch all three of them. Yeah.
Aren't those things like 5 hours long?
Yes, they are. It is like a day event. I mean, we're not all just sitting there watching. We just have playing in the background, and you kind of come and go with different parts of the movie.
Here's the thing. I didn't jump on the Lord of the Rings. I really tried to. I did. I remember Harry Potter came out about the same time.
Yep.
And Harry Potter entertained me more. Lord of the Rings, that's a lot of walking, and they had a wizard with them. Like, couldn't the dude have just beamed them somewhere?
Yeah, I could have just got one of the birds to go pick them up or something.
They could have, right? But I mean, that's lazy. That's lazy writing at that point.
Do you know how far they went?
This isn't a real place, but okay, tell me how far they go.
How far did the Fellowship go in Lord of the Rings? I asked this a little while ago, and I got some numbers, but they went. Okay, come on. So this is how far they traveled together. Okay. They went 1,400 kilometers, and then they split up and did some more. But you're easily looking at 2,000 kilometers, I'd say.
It's a bit of a trek. That's like walking to BC.
Yeah. There was these two guys in New Zealand, and they decided they were going to walk the distance, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So in New Zealand, so where Lord of the Rings country is, right?
Right.
And so it was that'd be one hell of a hike, that's for sure.
1,000%. This is your beige flag. 1,000%. You know more. You know more.
That's terrible.
About Lord of the Rings than I expected you to know.
Yeah,
but I'm not really surprised.
Yeah. So there you go. That's one that I'm not too upset about, honestly.
Well, to be fair, I think that as guys, we have things that rattle around in our brain that are somehow take up the space of important dates and lists that our wives give us.
Well, yes. I mean, have you ever had those situations where your wife goes, "Well, what are you thinking?" No, really, what are you thinking?
Nothing.
And it's just like either nothing or something just so random. Just trying to figure out what size of bolts I need for next week.
Random facts that like remember Yub Nub?
Yep.
Okay, the song when they're celebrating the Ewoks.
It doesn't exist anymore, though, right? Younger generation won't have that.
They don't have Yub Nub?
No, they took it out. When they remastered it.
Do you know who wrote that? Rob, how's it going, buddy?
Who wrote that? I did see that somewhere. I don't remember though at all.
The guy and it sang it. It was someone's kid, John Williams' kid, sang part of it, and the lead singer of Toto.
Yes.
Wrote.
That's crazy.
Yub Nub.
Like, who would have thought? I mean, first of all, it's a terrible song.
It's catchy. It's stuck in our head now.
But now it's gone. Like, seriously, younger generations will not have that.
No, they're not going to have any of that. And there's a lot of things younger generations are going to have. And I mean, we can sort of dive into what we're going to talk about. Hey, Duncan, never too late. You know what? It's never too late to. Why is it that we get into jobs and lots of people have hated their jobs for a long time?
Correct. Yeah.
And stick with it for what reason? I mean, security's there, but you can get security in another career as well, right?
But not a lot of people are. So, well, here's an example. I was because my wife did that big change. She went from nursing into massage therapy.
Right.
So I was telling another person the story, and they said, "Well, not everyone can do that." And I said,
No.
"Why not?" And they said, "Well, some people just can't afford it or whatever." It's like, well, anybody can afford it, but everything comes with a certain amount of sacrifice, right?
Absolutely.
So if you want to change the career that you're in, you have to make a big sacrifice. And unfortunately, a lot of careers are like a golden cage, right? You're trapped.
Yeah, I've heard of the golden handcuffs as well.
Yeah.
And when you have what they call the gold, and it's usually dangled around a pension, right? It's like, well, I've only got 12 more years, and then I get to retire.
I'm going to get 10% more of my pension.
Right? Exactly. If you math it out, you're probably okay to stop this and do something that you love or something that you've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you would have told me 25 years ago I would have been cutting hair for a living,
right,
I would have told you were crazy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I told you how I ended up cutting hair?
Yeah, you said that. I don't know if you mentioned it online though. So I mean, there's some good backstory for you.
Here's some backstory for you guys. So I was working for a company called Inter-Canada Communications. Now I had a few jobs throughout my life. I mean, I worked as a dishwasher and other things and a waiter.
Dishwasher.
I did not work at a Japanese restaurant. They wouldn't hire me. I don't know why. Just saying.
That's fair.
I want something related. So I was working for this company. The office shut down. I had this one, I had to say opportunity where I'm like, oh my God, I'm out of work. But the one and only time I got to take EI that I've been paying in since I was 12 and possibly get a trade or go to school and do something other than sales. And a buddy of mine who was cutting hair, he was a hairdresser, and he said, "Hey, why don't you go into hairdressing?" I'm like, "Are you shitting me, pal?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, but everybody that I know that cuts hair, have boyfriends."
Yeah.
And
every single one of them, eh?
Yeah,
pretty much. Changing. It's changing now, though.
Sure it is.
So, yeah.
So he said something to the tune of, "Yeah, you probably couldn't handle 9 months of hair school." To which I said, "The hell I can't." And I registered. I said, "Piss on this. I'm going to do this." And I did 9 months of hair school. Ended up valedictorian with a 90% average, perfect attendance, and a bursary at the end. And I had never touched a curling iron before that. And I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. As far as doing hair, updos and weddings could piss off all day long.
Oh yeah, are they pretty tough?
Oh my God, you got a photo. It's like, I want to look like this. I'm like, you look nothing like this, and this is not going to happen. But
not realistic at all. Yeah,
no. And then I ended up getting into barbering eventually, and I got no regrets, no regrets.
So where did you work, first of all?
First thing I did, I worked. Oh, here's another one. I worked for Mo first, Cruise.
Yeah.
And realized I did not want to be a hairdresser. Now, I was great at coloring and cutting. I had no desire to do like updos and braids and shit like that. Right. So I ended up, I really want to get into the barbering part of it. So I went to Hair Today, got a job there. And I was on the salon side, working my way into the barbershop side, because you had to earn your stripes to get into the barbershop side.
Right.
And I remember going there thinking that I knew everything. Okay. Because I worked for Mo.
Right.
And Mo was a great teacher.
Yeah. And Mo was a smart guy in the industry.
Very much. And very well respected. And I got in there and I was like scissor over combing everything. Like, and I was just getting flashy with it. And Roy Marino, who had been around for a dog's age, like he opened that shop. And just so you guys know, Hair Today Mall Barbers was one of the original shops when the mall opened. The only other original store was Reese's. And crazy. Roy opened that. Right.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying, "I want this guy, get him out of the barbershop," because I was just cock of the walk, doing everything. And he's like, "I'm either you learn how to cut hair like a barber or piss off and go back to the salon side." So I had to relearn everything that I knew in my short amount of time. And here's the thing. If you think you know it all, you don't. And if you have someone who's your senior by any stretch of the imagination, listen to them.
Yeah.
And they turned me into, I believe, an incredibly good student and a good barber. Right. And I was there I've been cutting hair for now 25 years and got into real estate over COVID, basically. And here I am now. And I don't think that I would, no matter what happened in my life, I don't think the chair would ever be history for me. I think no matter where I am. So I think that I'm in that spot where I love something about my life as far as work.
Right.
And I have decent balance.
Yeah.
You know, like, what would you do if, I think we talked about this once before, what would, and guys chime in chat, if money wasn't the object, if it wasn't about what you were making, what would you do if you weren't doing what you were doing right now?
Right. That's the hard question, isn't it? Because there's so many different opportunities and so many different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the nice thing would be if money wasn't, sorry, my dog's driving me mental here. Somebody wants attention. If money wasn't an object, then it wouldn't matter if you made a mistake and went to the wrong field. Okay. Because you could change it again.
You would change it again. Yeah, that's the thing. If you've got the drive to change, like if you can drop this and go to that, all the power to you. People are scared. When did I start my own hairdressing company? 2020. No,
it was before COVID. Yeah.
2010, I decided to go off and open my own shop. I wanted to be my own boss, which I think is the goal of everybody in that industry, is to have their own thing and have their own staff. Yeah. And that was scary because I was trying to keep it under the radar. Really, I was trying to keep it under the radar because I had a lot of respect for the people that gave me 10 good years at Hair Today.
Yeah.
And what happens in that industry is when you're leaving, people be like, hey, I'm opening up my own shop if you want to come work for me. Of
course.
I didn't do that. I didn't ask a single person from the shop to work with me. Nobody. Right. But I remember I was laying flooring, and I mean, I had the windows all papered down. It's a small town, though. People figure out what you're doing pretty quick.
Yeah, for sure.
And a couple of the girls came by.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, what's up? Are you going to be looking for, staff? I said, well, yes. Why? Well, we'd come and work for you. I'm like, okay.
Oh, yeah. Now you're getting into that whole dilemma of, do I take somebody from somewhere else, right?
Do I poach? And I wouldn't poach. So I said, tell you what, girls, I'm flattered that you want to work here, okay, and work with me. I didn't say for me. I said, you're going to work with me. That's great. However, if I didn't ask you to come here, and if it ever gets out, if someone ever says, yeah, quit and ask me to come here, then you're not going to be working here. Because I'm not going to have a bad relationship with the people that gave me a lot of years. And they came, and it was good, and it was amicable between the people that I worked for and the people that came and worked with me, and they were awesome. So Rob's full-time dad. Yeah. Be a producer and run a recording studio. See, there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
If you could do something, and Rob, you could do that 100%. You could be producing. You could be running a recording studio. You could do it as a home-based business if you really dug. You could. 100%.
Here's the interesting thing. Whenever money is taken out of the equation, the typical careers that people move to are going to be something creative.
Isn't that amazing how our creativity gets crushed?
Yeah.
At our job sometimes. I mean, I like it because I get to be creative. You're somewhat creative as a barber.
Yeah.
But Sean, hey buddy.
Mr. Sean Cameron there. Yeah.
Be a professional writer. You know what? If you want to meet a storyteller in our city, Sean Cameron is a storyteller. He's an amazing, Sean.
Yep, definitely.
And Sean is a guy who can take you can take slivers of information and turn it into a tale. And it's fantastic. You are a writer. Our 1,000% next move. Do it, man. Like, do it. Why don't we, what is it that keeps us from doing stuff?
There's a few things. Sometimes it's fear of what people would say, right? The fear of being a failure. Sometimes people are afraid of failing, and even more interesting is some people are afraid of actually winning at it.
Well, there's self-doubt, and if you talk about failure, I mean, Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, right?
Yeah.
You know what else he invented? Hundreds of ways not to make a light bulb.
Well, that's that too.
Right.
I was going to say bifocals.
Did he create bifocals?
Bifocals.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, if you could do whatever you wanted to do, and what is it that keeps us from doing it? Is it our age? Is it our security in our job? Because the reality is, everybody, like, tell me if you agree with me. You live at work and visit home.
Basically, that's how it is for most people, especially now as the need for more and more money, right? people have to work more hours. So as a result, you just turn into home being the place where you sleep and maybe keep a little bit of food in that tiny little fridge that's half empty all the time.
Okay, so what if you could feel ultimately fulfilled in your career in whatever you decide to do at today? Like today you decide, you know what? I want to do this. This is where I see my life going.
Right.
And you took a 20% pay cut to do it.
Right.
Would you?
Ooh, now there's the big question, right? And I would say yes. I would definitely do that and go into something else.
Would you take the worry out? But would you take a 20% pay cut to add 10 more years of joy to your life?
Sure, absolutely.
Right. So that's not that expensive, is it?
Yeah. Like I know people when they're younger might think twice about it, right? Because you still deal with a lot of certain identity problems with people going, this is what I'm meant to be. I can't walk away from it.
Do you know what people thought when I went to hair school? Think about it.
Well, I mean, yeah,
I
could imagine.
Okay, hang on, guys.
A little limp in the wrist, going. Right?
Here we go.
There you go.
It's got like a. Was this the same kind of striping they had on the radioactive material in Back to the Future?
Pretty much, eh?
Okay,
it's dangerous goods.
Here we go.
Is it thick like motor oil too?
Here's the problem. I know it's gin, but in my monkey brain, I'm smelling lighter fluid.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. Even better.
Jeez.
Are you supposed to take a screwdriver and punch a hole in the side?
Just shotgun the whole thing and then pass out on camera? Could you imagine?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
It wouldn't look good on the resume. I'll tell
you that. Right?
You know what?
Puppy. Not bad.
That is a pretty smooth
straight
gin. But you know how when you're, I don't want to be snooty, but they have the notes of this and that.
Yeah.
You can definitely
really smell the juniper berries.
You can taste the juniper berries.
Yeah.
And ether.
It's
a little bit of is that notes of ether and
chloroform?
Straight. What's the stuff they use? What do you guys use in diesel trucks that oh, come on. It makes your exhaust clean. I have a diesel, but I have a pre-DEF. Oh, DEF fluid.
Yeah.
There you
fluid.
Go. Notes of DEF fluid.
I haven't had a lot of ether and DEF fluid.
And juniper berries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what? That's actually a nice gin. So if anybody wants to get their neighbors to talk.
Gin. That's great.
And gin. And apparently
you could fill up your garage with that. And if somebody broke in, they would never know it was booze then.
Here's the thing. Some people that break into garages will probably take a swig of this even if they thought it was lighter fluid.
Well, that's fair these days, eh? So
we do live in a weird time.
A little bit crazy.
That is a ridiculous bottle, and I bought it just because it looked cool, and I have no regrets.
You know what? I went and bought one of the Crystal Skull ones just for shits and giggles.
Not a great vodka.
No, it wasn't really wonderful. I would take a little Stolly any day over that, especially given the price.
You're paying for the packaging. And
but I still have the bottle. Still got it, though.
Paint thinner. You know what? Maybe a bit. Now that she says paint thinner, I'm thinking, well, wait a minute.
I thought it was familiar.
We are doing the deck right now, so if that stuff starts thickening up, it's not bad. It looks cooler than it tastes.
How many years is it going to take off of your lifespan now, eh?
Well, I think that
it kills a few brain cells.
Kills a few brain cells. But I think that when you have booze, everything in moderation. Like honestly, the only time I have a drink is on the show.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or if I'm camping, and that's it.
So going back to careers and work and everything, retirement and all that sort of thing. When would you retire? 2 questions. Like number 1, when would you retire?
When would I retire?
If you could.
My problem is I have no slowdown in front of me.
Right. And it's also nice making money.
It is nice making money, but I do think that if your ultimate goal is retirement, that means that you're just working so you don't have to do this anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. And if you're hating your time right now, you're going to really hate it when you're older.
I couldn't imagine going to work, and I could imagine waking up in the morning and regretting the idea of going, or hating the idea of going to where I have to be all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I could handle that some days, because there's always days we don't want to do it.
Oh, for sure.
But I kind of thought, when you can't get through Wednesday, it's time to move on.
And Thursday's probably going to be a better day.
Yeah.
Like I have busy days. Like I'll be honest with you. This last couple of weeks has been an absolute grinder. Okay. Between everything, work, and working out. Yeah. And I think that and I'm okay. Like I balance that out. Like if you looked at my schedule, have you ever seen a detective show where they have all the photos on the wall and there's like yarn
pulling everywhere? Yeah.
That's my schedule on a regular day. And that's great. I bang it out and up, and I need to be here, then here. Like if you looked at my cameras, I take the kids to school. Like sometimes in the morning I'll have some guys in the chair, and then I go back in, get the kids to school, and then you'll see me change clothes from one door to the other. So I'll come out of my shop, go downstairs in jeans and a t-shirt, and then I come out the front door dressed like a real estate agent, go do whatever I have to do. I come back in, I'm dressed like that, and then you see me come out the back door and I'm
changed
back in
again.
Jeans and t-shirt, and that happens like 3 times a day, but I'm used to it.
Yeah.
And
that's hectic though.
It's hectic, but I don't feel exhausted from that ever. Like I like to be busy. I like to do things. And I think when that gets old, then you start looking at it, say, what do I give up? Which boat do you burn? And you have to burn a boat.
Well, that's the thing. One of them's got to go down. You can't. Going all in is hard for people. Making the decision to go all into something different. I mean, I saw it with my wife when she went back to school for massage therapy.
Right.
And she had continually had the struggle of, should I be doing this, giving up this career that, the pension and the hourly wage and everything.
Yep.
Should I be doing this? Is this the best way to serve the family by going back to school for 3 years?
Right.
Right. And it's actually funny because she told me that kind of one of the big events that made her realize, okay, this is the right place, is she was taking a course on aromatherapy in Winnipeg, and they pulled out those pendulums. Have you seen those?
A pendulum? I've seen a pendulum.
Okay, so you hold the pendulum over your hand and you ask it yes and no questions, and it gives you an answer, right? Have you seen that? You've seen this.
I am an ultimate skeptic in this kind of shit, but keep going.
Okay. But you've seen this. There's actually research on these things too. I'll say that, okay? So if you ask it, show me no, and goes forward and backwards or like side to side, right? And you say, show me yes, it'll go in circles, like spin around your palm.
Are you holding the pendulum yourself?
Yeah, you're holding it like this. So you got the string that comes down, a little pendulum, holding it over your palm. If it goes side to side, it's no. If it goes in circles, it's a yes.
And you're telling me that you're not subconsciously moving it yourself?
Well, that's where the research came in. We'll get to that. Okay.
Okay, because
that's where it gets cool.
Because if I decided I'm going to become a fortune teller in my later years, I need to know this.
Yeah, there's actually been research on it too, and it's how you interpret it a little bit. But she was like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this career. This is stupid. Like, this is a joke. Why would I want to do this? But then she was like, well, I'm in Winnipeg. You might as well just try it. See?
Okay.
Right? See what happens. So she holds it up and says, just the standard yes, no questions to get baseline. Mm-hmm. And then she asks, is this career the right thing for me to get into? Okay. And then starts doing little circles. And then the circles got bigger and bigger and bigger to the point that the pendulum is like propelling around in the air.
Okay. Remember Ouija boards?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm, again, the ultimate skeptic. However, we're moving it.
Yes.
Somebody at the table is moving that pointer.
Somebody's moving it. Yeah.
However,
but if you get one jerk, it's gonna be like driving it that way,
That's what happens. So someone is always the guy who's driving the Ouija board.
Yeah.
Now, what would it take for anybody here to change their career like that, what would it take? I'm not saying that you hate your job, but what would it take for something to come up that says, you know what, I can do that, and go for it?
That is usually like you have to have some pretty massive faith in a lot. Let's look at it this way. People like to go, why would you do that sort of thing? And because some people are willing to completely surrender to the possibilities of where life might take you.
Okay.
Some people are like, no, I need to change, go do something now, and they'll go do it, and maybe they'll hate it, right? But then there's the people who are like, I'm just floating around on this river, man. Let me go wherever it goes. And sometimes it's amazing where things just start ending up.
Well, yeah, but I also think that when you have how do I say things without saying things, Jay? I'm really having trouble here. If something's put in front of you,
how do you know if you should take it or not, right?
How do you know? First of all, figure out if you can. Could you do it?
Well, is it stupid? Is it stupid? Like, okay, I'm going to be a billionaire tomorrow. Okay, that's stupid because it's not going to happen. No matter how hard you work, you're not going to wake up that way. Right?
You could if you're a trillionaire and you get divorced.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Nothing's impossible.
Now there's who wrote it? They were talking about just opening up to your possibilities, but the every step up in life is one higher energetic level, right?
Right.
And there's always a certain amount of resistance, whether it's something holding you down or forcing you back, or the people coming out of the woodwork to tell you to stop, right? It's because it's supposed to be hard. The more important that it is for you to do it, for your story, or for your life, or whatever, the harder the resistance has to be, right? It's equal and opposite force.
Okay, so put your other earbud in because your sound is getting a little weaker. There we go. So you got to get a mic guy. Like, help me out here.
Yeah.
So, okay. What if what you're doing, although you're happy and you're good with it, something gets plunked in front of you and the doubt is there.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. I work well on spite.
Yeah.
Please tell me that I can't do something. Please doubt me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The only problem with that is it's lonely at the top, right?
Yeah, but here's the other thing. You tell me that I can't do something, I will make sure that you have a front row seat to watch me make it happen.
Yep, for sure.
Okay. Yep. And does that warm me inside? Kind of like this lighter fluid.
Yeah. It kind of does. It does. Yes. It makes you feel pretty good. Doing the I told you so is a wonderful feeling.
And I told you so. I think the I told you so's are better than the bragging. Yeah. There are people that'll get themselves in a position and then brag about what they're doing. Brag. Nobody wants to hear you brag. However, when someone does something so crazy, you're like, there's no way in hell this is going to happen, and he does it or she does it.
Yeah.
Dude, like, where's Pebbles? Pebbles, didn't you just graduate college and you're not 20? Like, there are things that happen when we. Right. Hey, Zuma Bernice is here. We do these things like okay, I'll take Zuma Bernice as an example. I have no idea what she did for a living before. I don't know if she's retired or not, but she travels the world, man. Like,
right.
She's got some wheels on her and she goes. She's doing what she loves. Doing what you love doesn't necessarily have to talk about work, but if you get yourself in a position where you can do what you wanted to do,
right,
that's happiness. Like, as far as I'm concerned, when I get like people success to look like to you, success is not looking at my bank account to make sure my bills are paid and my kids are happy.
Living without worry is a big thing. What would you pay for not having to worry, right?
Would you take, again, if you hated your job, if you hated where you were, or you just weren't fulfilled in what you were doing, would you take a 20% cut and your bills are paid? You're good. You're making a good living.
Yep.
But you're happy. You feel like what you're doing is making somewhat of a difference in the planet.
Yep.
Would you do that?
100%. Any day.
Would you go 30% down?
Yes, still would.
There you go. And this is where I think that we get ourselves so lined up with, I want to be at a tax bracket.
Yeah.
That we forget that we used to have fun. You know what I love about kids? Kids are very direct in what they want. What they want is what they want.
Yep, they're not going to lie about it.
They're not
Grown-ups,
going to lie
they
about
don't know
it,
what they want.
but they ask for what they want and they go for what they want. Adults don't do
Yep.
that. What happened
No.
to us, guys?
We got really, really scared, right? And I don't know why. I don't know when it was COVID or what it was, but it was just all of a sudden the ask was gone. You can see that in, like, I hear the same thing from people who are in the dating sphere.
Right.
You know, it's like nobody wants to ask. You know, right now the guys are waiting for the girls to ask, and the girls are wondering why the guys aren't asking. It's like, well, because it's hard.
What's easy?
Like, right?
What's easy?
But nobody likes rejection. Everybody hates rejection, right? Getting put down, right?
Okay, so let's just say in order to get to where you want to be, you're going to take the risk of rejection at every single step. There's a chance you can fail. So let's just say there's a career in front of you and you have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. You make it past step 1. Well, you still got to make it past 2, 3, 4,
right,
4, 5, 6. At every level, there's a chance that it's over.
And they're getting bigger. The chances are getting bigger, right? Because they're different challenges.
Right. Like I went through a thing which was quite tough. But I made it.
Yep.
And then there's the next level. You gotta wait. Did you make it? Then you gotta wait. Did you make it? Did you wait? Did you make it? And those are the steps. So when it's harder and harder and harder and harder, that make it, come back, Rob. That make it worth it, because it's not like it was a simple, I handed in an application form or I made a call and suddenly you've got the gig. It's there are levels to everything. Right? Well, it's like going to school. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like we get that now in school when people are going into it and thinking, you know, I've paid the money, I've shown up, just give me my degree or diploma.
Sure. Then what do you do with that? Do you have a career all of a sudden?
You know, apparently nowadays, right?
I remember getting kids in my chair, and I'm not going to poo-poo on anybody's schooling. Hang on a sec. Pebbles, what did you take in college? Tell me.
Well, there are some programs that you should be poo-pooing.
Well, okay. As an entrepreneur, I've had kids in my chair who were going to ACC or Cinnabar College or business or Brandon University. I go, so what are you taking? Business administration. I'm like, okay,
right.
That's good. What are you gonna do with that? I'm gonna open a business. I'm like, all right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe that you need one of two things or both, either a marketable product or skill.
Marketable skill. Yeah.
Then you open up your business and you market that product or skill and you have a business. You took up. Oh, really? So is that like to upgrading? Is that to finish a different degree, or is that to like bang out your grade, your high school
GED
and upgrade
or
that
something?
Stuff?
Yeah.
Good. Get her done, because you have to have a baseline, right?
Yeah.
And that simple baseline is the baseline for everything. And if you have that, then you can go to college, you can go to university, or a lot of careers. I mean, basically, you need to have that. I mean,
no, I never realized how important graduation actually is. You know, because we kind of go, whatever, it's just high school, it shouldn't matter. But it really is, because in order to succeed in life, you also need the praise, you need a sense of accomplishment, and you know, grade 12 is like your first major accomplishment as an adult.
And I think that if you finish it, whether it's when you're a teenager, when you're an adult, it shows that you've completed a task that you maybe didn't see the value in at the time. Right? We went to high school, we graduated. I was like a C student. I wasn't a bad student. I was just lazy. Like my math skills were there. I could write.
That's the problem, because people have started to realize that I can work really hard and pass, or I could not work hard at all and still pass. Yeah.
You know what's funny about that, Pebbles? I had to get my transcript done, and it was incomplete because you graduated with honors. Sweet. I was a far cry from that until I got to hair school, actually. But I didn't have to do a lot of math and hair. So my transcripts, I had to get my transcripts done, and I went to Massey and I went to Crocus. I went to Massey for junior high, went to Crocus, and then went back to Massey, because in my monkey brain, I thought, hey, it would look better on my resumes if I graduated from Massey because it was more of an academic school.
Because somehow it matters, right?
It somehow mattered. So I went to get my. You haven't been in school in 24 years? Jeez. Okay.
Well done.
That is well done because we forget how to learn. Some of us do.
Very much so. Yeah.
Like going back to your whole thing with the transcripts, 99%. Damn.
Jeez. That's pretty good.
And if you're in Jay's family,
you could teach us some English.
You could help Jay with his English. This is where his parents would say, "How come you don't get 105?"
Yeah, it's true, right? So Chinese families, crazy.
95% in psychology. Good. You can analyze us and tell us what the hell's wrong with us. Do a quick scan on us. You know what? Use us as test subjects. Pebbles, what is wrong with Jay and I?
Yeah,
there's got to be something not firing quite right here.
Yeah, tell us where on the spectrum we line up.
I'd like to know what ism I have. It's probably some.
One of them, maybe two combined, right?
I'd like to have an easy half dozen just to make sure that I'm balanced out.
Yep, that's fair.
No, I think that anyway. So what happened was I got my transcript and it was incomplete. It only showed like 12 credits. I'm like, what is this? Right. So I called the school visit. I go, we got a problem here. I go, I graduated, but this is only showing 12 and a half credits. She goes, no, you graduated. I go, I know. I have the diploma. I was there that day. She goes,
yeah.
No, what happened was it was a paper system. And when you switched, at some point in time, something got lost. I'm like, so what do I do with this? She goes, well, if you need people to know that you graduated, yes, we can tell you that you graduated, and that was fine. But yeah, my transcript is incomplete, although I did graduate high school.
Huh. That's
1.5 years. College.
You probably don't need that very much.
No. Oh, no, please analyze us both. I'd love to know. I'll see if it lines up with what my wife thinks is wrong with me. How many beige flags? Did you guys cover beige flags in psychology? Because it's a thing.
Apparently, anyways.
Okay, could you relearn something today? I mean, brand new. You've never studied it. You're 47. I'm 48.
Yeah.
Could you go to school? And I'm not talking about math, English, and all these other things that we took in school, but if an opportunity came up and they said, okay, you're going to learn something right now that you have no clue of.
Right.
Could you do it?
Yes. I wouldn't want to.
Of course not. But I think if you're like, you know what, I really want to do this. Let's just say you decide you're going to be a lawyer tomorrow.
Right.
Could you go to law school?
No, I couldn't. I have honestly had this discussion with people about. So when I finished osteopathy, that was in 2018, and It wasn't even 2 weeks into being fully done that I had people going, so what are you going to take next? And I was like, nothing. I'm absolutely done. Any formal education. And some people were quite upset and quite horrified because, why would you want to stop learning? And I said, well, I could read a book, couldn't I?
We don't stop learning. And I think I'm in the same boat. I enjoy a book. I enjoy a paper book. I also enjoy an audiobook. I can't do a Kindle. I really can't do a Kindle.
It's hard.
Yeah, it feels like I'm scrolling. Yeah. But I'm a true crime guy. I'm reading a nightmare of a book right now, man. It is.
Which one's that?
Dark. It's called One Child at a Time.
Oh, well, that sounds really romantic.
It's what you think. Okay, it's about predatorial behavior, and these are real stories and real.
Who wrote that? It's real stories.
Oh yeah, it's a journalist from Toronto, and it covers basically what we're thinking of.
Yeah,
predatorial behavior in Canada, US, and Europe, which are the biggest groups of people that are doing this stuff. And it opens like a horror movie. Let's say somebody's in a cage, about young, unclothed, and the father is taking requests as to what he should do next.
Yeah. Not okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, not good.
That's what I read. Like I read stuff like that. I also read self-help books, and I try to better my brain a little bit. Like I'm still Green Lights. I'm going to read that another 5 times. Love it.
It's a great one.
It's a great
one.
Have
you read the new Schwarzenegger one?
You've told me I have it. We both read it, and we're both massively disappointed by it.
Yep. I don't remember a single thing from it.
Because it's the same shit that he says in every interview that he's ever done.
Well,
one of my teachers, who has a teaching college, was her 11th year, 11 years in university.
Oh God.
Ugh. Isn't this a speech that your parents would have given you when you were 7? Like, how come you're not a doctor yet?
Little Johnny, he doctor, only 15, 12 years school.
And plays the piano like a motherfucker. You know what?
Okay, I saw a thing on piano playing on TikTok, right? And it was the whole thing was, you're good when you can play the piano like this. And the guy starts playing, and he stops. He turns the music up, and then he starts playing it the correct way.
Okay, here's a question. What would you never do for work? What could you not do?
What could I not do? Food service industry.
You were in food service industry.
Exactly. I can't do it.
Tell me a job that you didn't like.
Oh my God. There's no way I could do that. No way.
I didn't mind it. I mean, I was a waiter and a bartender and a bouncer. Yeah. Like, I worked in the service industry.
And there's no way I could be frontline, like parahealth or healthcare or something.
Like a paramedic or emergency services?
Emergency services, like 911 operator, nurse, cop, that sort of thing, right? No. Like, I couldn't do it. So
I think that the good outweighs the bad in a lot of these things. Like, you got to remember, you're going to save more people than you would hope, right?
Yeah, but some of those guys are doing like 12-hour shifts.
Hey, my dad used to tell me all the time, half days are fine. Just figure out which 12 hours you want to work.
Yeah. And you've seen how many hours I like working. I don't like working a lot of hours either.
You don't, but you're also getting at that age. Then again, you're younger than me. So
yeah, exactly.
What do you do? No, I think that bachelor in education, she started with trying to take in social worker when she finished for 2 years, decided to change her career. Wow. God bless you. Because I'll tell you what, if you're not happy where you are, for the love of all that is holy, go and do something that you're going to love.
Yeah. Or at least something you're good at.
Well, here's the thing. You got to be shitty to get good at anything. So that comes from Goon, the coach from Goon. He's like, you got to suck. You got to be shitty to get good, because you couldn't even skate. You could just fight.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with a lot of people, is they want the good part, but they don't want to do all the shitty development.
Well, you got to get ready to, and you got to get ready to hate it for a while.
Yeah.
But once you get good at something, it's really hard to hate something that you're good at.
Yeah. So, like, I was because I could do some music. I was like, hey, I should play another instrument, start playing another instrument. Mm-hmm. And I forgot how hard it is, right? Learning something from scratch.
The triangle?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Like a little Ed Grimley there, right? So
I forgot about Ed Grimley, yes.
the classic, good stuff.
What'd you take up?
But it's what I will. So I've got a little piano here, a little keyboard, and I was like, I can start playing some piano stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I did some guitar for a little bit too, and it was like, man, it hurts the hands so much. It was hard. Well, okay, so it's hard when you use your fingers for massage, because it's got to be really sensitive to feel things. Now you're going to build calluses up on them.
You don't have calluses?
No.
I have
baby
calluses.
Soft hands. I've got baby soft hands.
You have moisturized hands.
Yeah, moisturized. So it used to be a lot worse. So, we work with lotion 24 hours a day or whatever,
Okay, so that's a perfect example for people that have the ability to learn a new skill, but won't take the risk to enjoy their life. So take a guy who is, say, 50.
Yeah.
Has hated his job for the last 10 years.
That's fair. Yeah.
Suddenly picks up the guitar for the first time and is learning the guitar.
Yep.
Okay. You've got the ability to learn a new skill set.
Yep.
And you're enjoying the guitar, and that's why you keep on playing it.
Yes.
So why are you going to a job that you hate?
Yep. Then people have a hard disconnect with that, They have a real tough time rationalizing it. Because one's giving you income, which you perceptually need to pay for your bills, where happiness doesn't pay for your bills, right?
Happiness doesn't pay your bills, but happiness does pay in other ways. Like, did I ever tell you the time that I tried to do stand-up?
No. When was that?
Oh God. I did an open mic one day. And
how did that go?
Shitty. Because I'll tell you what, you got to know your crowd. And my jokes were a little dirtier than the crowd was ready for. Like, these were very much chai latte, tofu,
more like
granola eating, like Birkenstock wearing, Subaru driving crowd. And I bombed so hard. It was embarrassing.
You hear that from the top comedians, though. Bill Burr's talked about, being laughed at the stage and kicked off the stage and stuff, right?
I thought I was funny until that day.
Yeah.
Okay. I was embarrassed that my wife came to watch. I'm like, oh my God.
Kill me now, right?
Is this thing on? And it was, and it sucked. But would I do it again? I think I would.
Yeah.
I think I would do it again. And I remember sitting there writing, like I was writing. I'm like, this is good shit. It was not good.
Yeah, it was mom spaghetti, wasn't it?
It was mom spaghetti. Yeah. It was garbage. But you know what? To have the grapes to go up and do it, just like deciding when 25 years out of school, deciding, screw it, I'm going to go and finish this up.
Yeah.
Do it. Like, no one's going to, anybody who's doing well will never criticize you for doing better.
Well, exactly. You'll never be criticized by someone above you, right?
No,
ever.
You'll be criticized by some dipshit who, again, hates his life and is grinding through it and doesn't want to go to bed because he has to wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, you say you couldn't do emergency services. I feel that I could.
Yeah.
I feel that I could do certain.
Well, you've got different personality for me, or different skill sets even, right? Is like, I saw my wife do it for so long and I'm just like, no. Hang on.
What the hell is my skill set exactly that you're referring to here?
What is your skill set? Talking to people. De-escalation.
Yeah, I guess, that helps.
I mean, that's the common thing across every single one of the health services. At some point in time, you're going to get some unruly customer who's going to, try and, especially as a guy, right? They're going to try and put you down one way or another, right?
Somebody asked me once, and it's interesting you say that, because somebody asked me once, like, because I bounced for a long time. I bounced some rough places like Main Street, Winnipeg. Yeah. And someone asked me, how many fights did you get into? I said, well, there's always something. He goes, no. I'm asking you, how many fights? How many times did you get into a toe-to-toe knuckle duster with a customer? I'm like, never. Like, I bounced on and off for like 10 years. I never swung once, not a single punch. It's like, that's amicable, because that's very uncommon in bouncers. I go, but here's the problem. Yeah. The reason that I didn't was I could get you down. You're going down and you're going out. It was either going to be embarrassing or you're just going to walk out the door. I would never engage in a fight. I would break them up all day long, but I would spear people. My move was from 3 strides away. I could come at you, wrap, take you down, and now you're not breathing for a bit, and we're going. And that was it. But you had ample warning, and it didn't have to go that way. But when you're in that kind of a situation where there's always a chance somebody hammered is going to try and take a poke at you.
Yeah.
Well, me trying to nudge you towards doing that isn't going to help anybody.
No, exactly.
No. And your job isn't to fight. Your job is to break up fights. It was that simple. Plus, if you did get into a fight, you were fired instantly and they wouldn't back you. Right. The bar wouldn't back you. So, which meant that if you got charged, they're like, nope, we saw what happened. We fired him immediately, even if you felt you had no choice. So I just didn't do it.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it anymore. Back in the day, it was like friendly bar fights were one thing, and now it's, who's bringing the hammers to the bar, right?
Well, and the thing is, there were bar fights, and there were some gooders. And I remember we used to get these guys in that would come off of basic.
Right.
And train killers all of a sudden. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a group of 3, I believe, that were causing some shit. And they picked a fight with this dude. And he's like, outside, let's go. This guy walks out, and I'm talking pickup trucks full of farm boys that were his pals who were out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Dude, that was one of the most entertaining things I'd seen. working in the bar, was these guys came up ready to just pound this guy. He's like, fine, let's go. And walked out one guy against 3. And then suddenly all these guys came out and that was the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you need to be tuned in a little bit.
It just got to be, people always respond to power, right? It doesn't have to be negative or perceived. It has to be authority or whatever it might be.
But I like to say there was a lesson learned that day. So this cocky little prick probably didn't do that again.
Probably not. Yeah.
Right. So there are life lessons that are learned. Now,
have you watched Reacher?
Love that show.
Okay, so I mean, there's life lessons all over the place, right? Some punk kid comes up and tries to fight with like a 6'5" monster, right?
Yep.
And next thing you know, your wrist is broken.
Well, that's the problem. And actually, not that I'm big on remakes, but Roadhouse was entertaining as hell.
It was, okay, so Roadhouse, at first, when I watched it, I was like, it's okay, it's cheesy, it's not realistic, it's kind of dumb in parts, right?
Yeah.
And then I started watching the original Roadhouse again, and I was like, what the hell, right? Like, this is worse,
It's worse.
He ripped his throat out.
He sure did, right by the lake. Yeah. However, could you imagine being a professional bouncer into your 40s? Aaron, yeah.
Oh, God, the injuries that you would have.
Well, he carried his medical file with him.
Oh, yeah, you'd have to. Like, God, there's always going to be a time when someone's going to get the drop on you.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember there's one guy, he was a little cocky, and there were people waiting for him when he went to go to his car after work, and they beat the piss out of that guy. Like, his jaw was wired shut for some time.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Just don't do that, dude. I had guys that I would forcibly have to chuck out of the bar. Like, it was not pretty, but I was respectful. And these guys, I've had this one guy in particular, he would come and sit in my chair a week later, apologizing. I'm like, dude, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, but sorry I was an asshole. I'm like, dude, you do this every weekend. I'm used to it.
Yeah, everyone has an asshole moment, though.
Everybody has that.
Like what was that movie, Falling Down with Michael Douglas?
Oh yeah, right? That's where you snap.
And he just has snap. And nowadays, because what we know for mental health, there's been like articles talking about, it's not unrealistic for this sort of thing to happen.
I think that everybody has there's a tipping point for a lot of people where you've had enough. Like, hey, okay, here's another one. Going back to work. And I remember hearing this guy, I'm going to misquote this slightly, but he says, everybody has either a fuck you or fuck this moment.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
The fuck you moment is when you start hating everybody that you work with, and then you slide down into the spiral of bullshit and you become the worst employee that they've ever had.
Yep. Yeah.
The fuck this moment is that time when you say, you know what? I'm done. I need something better out of my life, and I'm out. I'm out. And one of the best things you can do is, I'm not saying people should quit their jobs, but when that fuck this moment happens and you listen to it, and you burn the boat, as they say, can you regret it? And as long as you don't throw yourself into poverty all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But if you have the ability to say, you know what, fuck this, I'm out.
If you have the capacity, you should do it.
Well, how many people do we know that? Like, I know people that, like, the people I know enjoy their work. I'm sure most of us do. But what happens when you hit a wall and you don't see any brightness at the end of it, except for the ability to quit, the ability to retire?
Well, like you said, there's the fuck you and there's the fuck this moment. And I think a lot of people choose more the fuck you moment than the fuck this.
And that's when they become that employee that is there and protected by the fact that he can't get fired.
Yeah. They will never move on to something that's more suitable or enjoyable or whatever, because, the fear of change, fear of what other people are going to think, the fear of looking like an idiot, or, what if I do this and it actually works out, and what kind of person am I going to be at that point in time, right?
Dude, how many people, like, remember when I got my first gig, like 5 years ago?
Which
like acting gig?
Was that?
Yeah. Okay. You know how many people thought that was absolutely insanity? Like, okay.
Most of the people,
yeah, they're like, oh, okay, Hollywood, whatever you like.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I do it?
I find a lot of times those responses that people give, it's because of their own personal insecurities about the fact that they would love to do it, but just can't do it. So like a lot of people, for example, like it's people talk about this. They feel they're the main character, right? Everyone's the main character in their own story, right?
Sure.
So if that was you, say that was you that was making the big change, and I feel it's my story. Who are you to rewrite my goddamn story? You're a secondary co-star, where I'm the main person. You're gonna go make yourself happy and leave me here? You can't do that. You're changing my story.
Well, to be fair, my acting career didn't turn into anything that changed my life by any stretch of the imagination. Do some cool shit, and I'm excited to do it. But
that's good enough.
Okay, you see me go through some changes,
right? Yeah.
Okay, and you're aware of certain things,
right?
Okay, the idea is slightly insane, slightly.
However, are you kidding me? It's yeah.
But
you like
Pebbles. Pebbles does know as well, and I've been keeping this shit under wraps. But here's the thing: could it? Every day, it seems like it could.
You know how weird it is, man? Honestly.
Sure. Let me hear.
Okay, it's weird enough that you could make a TV show on it. You know, it would be a very entertaining show that you could do for ever.
Almost 8 seasons.
Yes, exactly. Because there'd be so much information that you would be coming up with, like adventures and stuff that would happen on a day-to-day basis.
When it comes to what I couldn't do for work, surgery.
Oh, seeing the blood, or doing the actual cutting is
doing the cutting. And here's the thing: I can gut a deer all day long and take that apart. And what's interesting is I can see trauma. Like I can see. I love horror. I love all this stuff. I can see that, no problem. You cut. Like I can't watch Grey's Anatomy.
Cutting right into the body and seeing the organs moving and the heart pumping.
Actually, you know what there was one movie that screwed me up, and it was so fake, and I got like pale. Okay. Remember Face Off?
Yeah. When they got his face taken off,
they swapped their faces.
Yeah,
and the faces were like you see them peel it off.
Yeah,
dude, I have watched so many horror movies, so many this, that, and everything else. That movie, I was like, oh Jesus, I can't.
So,
and it's
doesn't that show you how much it changes your brain when you're prepared for one type of movie, and then all of a sudden they come out of nowhere, and it's just like a right?
Well, I think that surgery, like I remember having this guy in the chair one day, and this guy was built like a tank, like built like Reacher. Okay,
right, yeah,
and I had this exercise that I would do, and I did this for years behind the chair. I would go as long as I could without asking somebody what to do for work.
Yeah,
because if I ask you, hey, what do you do? You're just going to talk about work. And I would learn way more about people by avoiding that topic for as many cuts as I could. And eventually it would come out and I'd be like, oh my God, you're a doctor? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But this dude was an orthopedic surgeon.
Right.
I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. I go, so what do you do exactly? He goes, you know, when someone gets a new knee, I'm the guy that puts that in there.
Yeah, carpentry.
Yeah, I go like with a hammer. He goes, yeah, with a hammer. Like this guy looks like he could split a solid, like a 14-inch log with one swing.
Yeah.
Like, is there a chance you could like split the bone? He goes, oh yeah, there's a chance. Yeah. He goes, but you got to have a gentle touch. But this guy could.
Dr. Paul Bunyan was it Dr. Bunyan?
Sturdy Danny McGee. Remember him?
Yeah. No.
You don't remember Sturdy Danny McGee?
No.
From the Raisin Bran commercials when you were a kid?
I don't.
Was up this 59 a tree, said, I work as fast as I can.
Yeah, yeah.
Then he suddenly saw 2 scoops of raisins in a
Now I remember. Okay.
In a box of Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Why do I remember that jingle, but I can't remember our anniversary? Can somebody explain that to me?
I don't know. Or your wife's phone number or something, right?
Zumba loves working with people, but I couldn't be a teacher. I tried that. I was a teacher for 1 year at Crocus Plains.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did that. They did do that for a while.
I taught the hair course. I was a term, and that's a tough one because there were two things. One, I was a term.
Yeah, you could walk away anytime.
I could walk away anytime, but there's always a chance of getting permanent. And I thought, permanent. I could do this. There's security right there. It's like, hey, security. I work 200 days a year from 8:30 till 3:30. That's it. No weekends. Summer's off.
Yeah.
Would I do that again? Perhaps on a term to help.
Yeah.
Would I be a teacher? Zumba, you are bang on right. I don't think I could do that.
25 years working in the same classroom, dealing with the same kids, are just progressively getting nastier.
Or dealing with parents that try to strong arm mark out of you. That was fun.
Or the helicopter parents and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I remember I had one parent come in, and this kid couldn't do anything. She wasn't paying attention. She didn't care. She could write tests all day long, but she couldn't do the work. Yeah. And a mom came in. She goes, "Hey, my kid's GPA's falling because of this course." I'm like, "It's not because of the course." And because I'm a term, I could say whatever I need to say. Yeah. And I go, "What do you want me to do?" "Well, can you give her some more assignments for her to bring her mark up?" I go, "No, she needs to be able to do the work." And I said, "Listen, I've been behind the chair for this many years. No one has ever asked me what my grades were like. Nobody cares. Yeah. Can I do the work?" Like, here's the thing, Jay. If your GPA in massage therapy or osteo was you were a solid 60% student, but you did amazing work.
Yeah.
No one's questioning.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody cares. Yeah.
No. Can you do the work? That's all people care about. Can you do the job that you're asked to do? Nobody gives a shit what your grades were at all.
Exactly. That's all forgotten.
Right. And I told her, the only way she's going to get a higher mark is if she comes in and practices, and I will help her practice and get better at it. But as it sits right now, she can't do a simple braid. So I spent a little bit extra time with this kid, and she finally got her shit together. But I said, here's the problem. When she goes into the workforce, should she decide this is going to be her career, and she gets hired by one of my colleagues, and she's doing this kind of work, they're going to ask, who taught you how to do this? And they're going to say me.
Yeah.
Now I look like an asshole. On you.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was kind of about me. But on the other hand, I want these kids to get better. Like when I was, I've taught hair all over the place across the country, and with people that really want to learn it.
Yeah.
Like if I really wanted to learn what you're doing, Jay, I could probably learn it.
Yep. I would agree with that.
Time.
It would just take time. I mean, that's the thing. If I wanted to go do, here's a good example. Here's the perfect example. Okay. Right. So when you were young, did you play soccer?
No.
No. Okay. Well, you know what soccer is.
I'm aware of the game. Yes.
Okay, good. So when I was young, we would play soccer, and I wasn't very good at it.
Right.
Right. And I thought maybe it's because I've got asthma, or maybe my joints are weak, or whatever, or why maybe some people are just better at it than I am. Right. So eventually you grow up, you never play it again. Now we've got this little puppy here, and he loves his big soccer ball. Okay.
Yep.
And he plays a game where he wants to touch the ball. So he comes over and he hits it with his paw and he runs away. So you have to guard the ball and keep it away from him while he's trying to get it. Mm-hmm. So for the past year and a half or whatever, I've been playing with this little soccer ball, kicking it around, doing the little foot techniques. And I'm going, holy shit, I'm actually getting pretty good.
I still remember how to do this shit.
Yeah. Like, I wasn't this good when I was 10.
Dude, I sucked at a lot of stuff when I was younger, and I kind of suck at stuff now, but I keep on trying it. Yeah. Like Pebbles makes she went to college. She wants to become an EA because she has an oldest son that's only 6. That would work perfectly for a parent. Oh my God. EA is the perfect job for a parent because you have the same hours as your kid.
Maybe the same school too.
Yeah. Get at it, Pebbles. Go and grab it. And they're looking, they need them. Trust me.
Yeah.
We got overcrowded schools right now, and you need as many EAs as you can get.
It's bad right now. You know, there's a job I couldn't do.
EA?
I couldn't be a teacher or an EA or anything.
It's tough. It takes certain personality. It takes a lot of you have some thick skin, and you're gonna hear some horror stories from kids too. You need your heart to be there, right?
Yep.
But I mean, when it comes to when you talk about sports and doing stuff, okay, how long have I been training, Jay?
I don't even know when you started. Like,
when I was fat.
You were a teen, okay, so like we were what, 18, 19 then?
22 years old. I was 309 pounds.
Okay.
A solid butter.
That's a big boy.
Yeah, like heart attack before you're 30 kind of guy.
Yeah. So that's been quite a few years.
Okay. So what was I good at the gym? Like, what can I do at the gym?
Well, you like your big compound lifts.
So I'm a lifter. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm a weight trainer.
Yes.
Right. Does that make me an athlete?
Well, I guess it depends.
Does it mean that I'm fit?
Oh, definitely. If you're going to go that way, no, it doesn't make you an athlete. Sure, in your own right.
Sure.
Could I same thing. Doesn't make you fit. like, could you run by just doing weights, like just doing power lifts or something? No, no chance. You will
I learned
not
that,
be a good runner. Yeah.
And I learned that real quick.
Yeah.
So I think that and the reality hit me when I had to do something where I had to run. Like, my God, I've been in the gym all this time. And I did this thing and I was like, sucking air.
Yeah.
And this girl goes, wow, power lifter, eh? I go, yeah. She goes, you don't run, do you? I go, can you tell?
Yeah.
Probably the fact that I was red in the face and could barely breathe.
There. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do? You shift what you were doing for the last 20 years and retrain yourself.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I retrained myself. I needed endurance. I needed this. Did I change my physicality by doing that? Yeah, because I shocked my body into something different.
Yep.
Can I do what is required for the task?
Right.
Apparently, yes.
There you go.
Right. And I was as shocked as anybody else that I had.
How many people were younger?
I was twice the age of everybody there.
How many of them were just little people? Or were there some pretty big dudes too?
You know what? Some big dudes there, but again, the effort, it comes down to training. Everything comes down to training. Yeah. Like as a guy who used to be a trainer, I know that you can train your body to do anything you need it to do. All you need is time and effort. So you put that math in, you math it out and you do it. Yeah. There was one person who was smaller, female.
Yeah.
Fit, man. Like fit. Yeah. And nailed it. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here's the thing:
how many people had no idea? Like
half.
Not even okay, yeah, like not even not prepared, just not even trying.
Half.
No training.
Probably half.
Really.
Maybe they trained. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Like they did
it wrong.
Dude, mine was so sloppy though. It was a hot mess. I did it. Yeah. I got through it, but it was a hot mess.
You know what? Here's the big thing about a hot mess, though. People won't forget it.
They won't forget it. And the thing is, does it have to be pretty? No. It just has to get done. It has to be done. And trust me, I was as shocked as anybody when like, here's your time. I'm like, fuck me. Okay.
You know, it's just like that old saying, you don't have to be handsome, you just have to be handy, right?
Just have to be handy. You know what? I'll tell you what, I will get nowhere on looks alone. I'll tell you that right goddamn now. Like I would say that I'm a solid 3. To my wife, I think I'm probably a solid 5.
Well, because she dresses you up a bit, eh? So she's she's the arm candy, so it raises it up a few levels.
She makes me look way better, and like this, you know what? You know what I love and I hate about doing live streaming. I've never noticed that my nose is crooked until we started live streaming.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
Like it goes like
a bit over to the side, yeah,
like that, and it. You know what?
What's the other guy look like?
Exactly. People have asked me if I've ever broken my nose. I don't think I've ever broken it. I've gotten punched in the nose.
Yeah.
But it's never broken. So this, like, is this what plastic surgery? Like,
because they would fix that sort of thing. Yeah, exactly. They would take your nose off and put it back on in a better position.
God, I couldn't handle that. Like when I see plastic surgery, I'm like, you are modifying the shit out of your body. And here's the thing, I can get tattooed, no problem.
Yeah.
But if you say you're going to cut into me and peel my nose up
and something and move it around. Yeah. Nope, not cool. Don't like
if you get any kind of plastic surgery, what would it be? In chat, what would you get? If you could get one, you're allowed one. Oh my God, ouch, what? No, I didn't break it. Pebbles, I didn't break it. It's just
you got to keep it safe for work with your answers, are you bloody perverts?
If you could get any plastic surgery, you're allowed one thing. What would you get done? One. You're only allowed one surgery.
That's a tough question, you know. I couldn't even answer that. I wouldn't even know.
Really?
Yeah. I'm kind of okay with myself. So.
I would get my hands done.
What do you mean?
You never noticed
What would you do with them?
Did you never notice that my fingers don't straighten out?
No. Too much clicking?
No, see that?
Oh wow, that's wicked, eh?
Okay, so my tendons.
So
I was
shortened off.
My tendons are too short for my hands.
Yeah,
I've been like that since I was a kid. My fingers will never truly straighten out.
I don't think surgery would help that.
You can. It's extremely painful where they cut it and they pull it apart.
Yeah.
And it has to heal itself.
I don't know if they're very sick, because I've seen people with getting like releases, tendon releases, and it just gets worse.
This is not, and it's not painful. It just has never been straight. Like it's never been straight. Like I can do this, which my kids think is cool. This claw thing that I can do. But
is that unusual? Like, or
can you do that? I do a dinosaur. I do a dinosaur for the kids too.
Oh, hey everybody! That's just fucking weird.
It is weird. You're scared of the claw. Polar bear, not sure what you would get. If I was vain, I'd get hair.
Nowadays, it's as cool not to have hair than it is to have hair, though.
How weird would it be if I had hair? Like, can you imagine?
I saw your yearbook picture years ago.
I had like curly
dark I was hair. Like, wow, this guy had what happened?
Stress and life. I was 22 when I started going bald, actually.
Yeah.
I was young. Yeah. But hair, I would get hair, but how weird would it be? Because you knew if I could grow it, if I could suddenly grow hair again, I'd be rocking a man bun, dude.
You know, you should just grow what you can and do the Tong Po or something with the high ponytail that sticks out.
That's cooler than you think.
There you go.
I rocked the hell.
Would mess with you.
No, and you know what? I would grow
you wouldn't have to wear a helmet on your motorcycle. You can just say, religious reasons.
That's why I have a high ponytail. Yeah. Hong Kong, what's it called?
Yeah. Hong Kong.
Is it called Hong Kong? Polar bear has hair. But if you could have something like one piece of surgery, come on, Jay, there's got to be something.
I've got nothing. I don't like surgery. I've had 2 surgeries and I didn't like either one of them. Okay.
You could have been simplest thing.
If I had some surgery, it'd be get rid of the scar tissue from the existing surgeries that I have.
I think that
seems like a wasted opportunity, honestly.
It is a wasted opportunity, but I mean, it'd be like saying I would get veneers done or some shit like that.
Yeah, I don't even want to do that. They do all the time. All the time. I mean, you could do Botox, you could do all those things. You got to keep away from the crow's feet and everything, right?
I've got a couple, but okay, let's go back to our topic at hand.
Yeah.
Liposuction.
Ooh, wow.
Damn.
Do they still do that? Oh my God, they quite a bit. Yeah, quite a bit.
I've seen that surgery. It looks painful as hell.
Yeah.
Like you think the trauma to your abdomen would hurt a lot after the freezing comes out.
Yeah, I think it would hurt a lot. You should Google or go into YouTube and type in manipulation under anesthesia.
That sounds predatory.
Almost, yeah. So it's people who have bad joints adherences and stuff. They are in the neck, a lot of neck pain. They put you out and then they manually do the adjustments while they're out, so your body doesn't resist.
Jesus Christ, they'd be snapping you like a twig. So okay,
it's on YouTube. Check it out.
I probably threw up a little bit in my mouth. Tummy tuck would be cool, and a neck lift. What the hell's a neck lift?
Get rid of some of the hanging skin right in that area. Nobody looks after that area, right?
Here's a funny thing. As a guy,
forget that area.
I skipped jaw day, I guess. I don't know if I have it. I guess it does happen. Things start to
eventually you start getting a little bit of hanging, or tissue just starts drooping a little bit.
Oh yeah, it kind of folds at the neck like that.
Yeah,
that could happen. Yeah, tighten that shit up. That's not a vanity thing. That's just like, hey, you know what? I can't do anything about this.
No, because I can't lose weight. I can't take Ozempic for this sort of thing.
You could gain weight and get rid of that. You
could gain weight. Yeah.
You could gain 400 pounds. Gain 100 pounds. It'll tighten that.
That would work. Yeah. No, can you imagine how hard it would be to purposely try to gain that kind of weight?
There was a show years ago that was, the hell was it? Where they had trainers and they would gain weight to get to the point of their client and then lose the weight with the client.
Really?
Yeah, and it was scary. And these guys screwed their health up a lot.
Oh, they absolutely would. You take Christian Bale, him dropping for Mechanist.
The Mechanist?
And then
Machinist.
Machinist. That's what the word is. and then goes over to Batman right after that, right?
He gained 90 pounds, I think, something like that for Batman.
Like that's not good for you. And that's not you're not doing that through salads and protein bars.
He was chewing gum and drinking water. That's how he gained. That's how he lost the weight. And to gain the weight, you would have to take in an immense amount of calories.
And probably Tren.
What's that?
Steroids.
Yeah, that's bad stuff. I guess something that's would have to shave again. Razors are expensive. Polar Bear. Here's the thing. I will recommend 1,000% sugaring. And I have an IPL, like a intense pulse light thing, and it helps. Like but yeah, get yourself get lasered, get the hair lasered off. If I could, I did consider getting my head lasered because it doesn't grow where the shit anyway.
So you just don't have to shave it, right?
You don't have to shave it, but I do get sugared back in chest.
Oh, I was gonna say top of the head, like oh wow, that would.
Oh, that'd be like ripping off the hardest Velcro on the planet, and that would hurt like a bastard. And your scalp can only handle so much.
Oh God, that'd be like being scalped.
It would be a lot like it, but yeah, get something that you have to shave again. Get lasered. That's worth it. You can get it done, or the more you rip it out, the less it grows back.
So when I was in massage therapy school, I had a guy that would come in regularly, right? And they had like back hair that was like that long,
like carpet.
Yeah. Right. It was thick hair. So you would take like the lotion bottle and almost squirt them up like a hot dog just to work on it.
Like mayo on a fur burger.
Oh, and it was crazy. So, I mean, bear in mind, this is 2002. Okay. And so you work on him, and as he gets to know him, he starts talking more, and he says to me, yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to get my back waxed.
Do it, dude.
And I was like, oh, yeah? You going to? He's like, yeah, I'm going to do it for sure. No problem. So he went. And the lady who did it, normally like you kind of trim that carpet a little bit. No. She just put it on that thick 3-inch long carpet that he had, and then ripped.
God damn!
So 2002, what movie came out around that time?
Oh, 40-Year-Old Virgin.
40-Year-Old Virgin. Yeah.
Oh, Kelly Clarkson.
100% what it was. Oh, Kelly Clarkson. The next time he came in, he had 2 runways on his back.
He didn't finish it?
Couldn't finish it. So he had 3 poles on the first strip to get it all.
Here's the thing. I grow. I'm Ukrainian, so I'm like big burly bear. My shoulders get a bit, my back, and that's just unattractive. And I'm gonna do that. I'm also do the chest too. And when I was like bodybuilding stuff, you get the whole skedaddle done, and that's painful as all shit. Getting a full body wax. Damn.
Getting your legs up in the air, and there you go, right?
They don't do that. Like she will not do that, but she's very good at what she does. She won't go to the nether regions of the gentleman ever.
That's good.
That's gonna be hard to wax it. That'd be like trying to wax a grocery bag.
Well,
you gotta keep that tight, and I don't know how you do that. I don't want to be there when it happens. I'll just tell you that right now.
Well, you got to be thinking some interesting thoughts to kind of keep that down, right?
I don't think you're gonna get excited when you got something hot about to tear off strapped to that thing, because it's
Well, I think the problem is it's got to be kind of not like a garbage bag.
Oh, it would have to be,
right?
God. How do you ask for that?
You just book the appointment and kind of go in, and
I don't think they would do it. I don't think they do a guy. My girl won't do that. She'll do everything but that. Yeah,
you should call around and see if you can get an appointment and report back on how that goes.
Why don't we go together? We'll live stream.
Kelly Clarkson.
Who wants a live stream of J and Q getting waxed?
Oh my God, no.
I do.
You can't live stream that. That'd be an OnlyFans.
Nobody would pay for that. My Christ.
No,
like, we'd have to start
send it to the people. We're gonna keep sending it to you until you pay us up.
Tell you what, you give me $20 and I won't send you this video.
Exactly.
No, there's a job I wouldn't do. I don't think I could be a professional waxer. It sounds like a plan. Jesus Christ. Tell you what, if you have me strapped on a table and I'm getting my hair ripped out of my body, sure. Suddenly we're taking a request for punishing the host of the show.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't think I would do it. I've done it, but I don't think I could do it where we're like everybody's laughing at us while it's happening.
Nope.
There's a job I couldn't do. Live. Christ.
Live.
Here's the thing. I don't think I could be an esthetician. I don't think I could be that person that's like
nail tech and stuff too, right?
Tell you what, when we were in hair school, we had to go to an old folks home and get manicures.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Let's just say
How was that?
Well, let's just say that there's a good chance that the fingernails had
some massive fungus or something.
Some stuff in there, and we had to dig that shit out. Yeah. Jay, we opened up a can of worms, Jay.
Yeah, apparently, eh?
That would have to be a fundraiser. That's where I'd say, okay, you know what?
That would be a big fundraiser.
We raise $1,000 and we will wax everything we can legally do on TV, on live.
I'm not losing my hair. Can you imagine waxing this thing off?
That would hurt beyond. Yeah. That would hurt so much. Like
it'd be like an Army of Darkness skit or something.
Yeah. I've done eyebrows. I've gotten that done because it's. I like to be pretty. I like to take care of myself. There's nothing wrong with pampering yourself a bit. Have you ever gotten a pedicure?
No, I haven't. My feet are incredibly ticklish. It's ridiculous.
Actually, never mind esthetician. I could never handle feet. Not in 1,000 years.
Okay, so here's the irony. My feet are incredibly ticklish, and I hate getting my feet touched. But I took reflexology back in the day too.
So what? Now you're not ticklish?
No, I'm terribly ticklish.
Okay, here's a question.
It was a horrible thing to take.
Is it unnatural for somebody to not be ticklish?
It's a defensive mechanism. It's very normal.
To not be ticklish?
To be ticklish. Yeah.
No. I'm asking, is it odd for a human being to not be ticklish anywhere?
Very odd. Is that you?
No, it's my wife. Nothing. Yeah, okay. Nowhere.
Well, she's just
nowhere. Yeah. Like myself, I giggle like a little kid. Like,
yeah. Okay, so if you want to stop that, if you want to stop the ability of being tickled, okay. What you do is you take your hand and you put it on their hand while they're tickling you.
Really?
Because it gives you your brain the perception of control over the situation.
I have no control over my wife, and nor would I ever try to.
Yeah. He had to charge you though. He grabbed my hand. He was restraining me. Like, well, you're trying to tickle me, woman. I was losing control of my bladder.
I am. It's sad because Gage scared the piss out of me today. I'm down. I come down from upstairs. I come in the back door, and I hear Bo calling me from upstairs. And these little shitheads, they had this plan. So she's calling me. I'm like, "What do you need?" And then Gage jumps into the laundry room and, "I got you." I'm like, "Son of a bitch!"
That's great.
So okay, we're gonna wrap this up, but let's get back into this. The reason that we're talking about this today is it ever too old to pursue something that you've always wanted to do?
Definitely not.
And even if the cards are stacked against you, should you do it?
Absolutely. Well, no. Let's be within reason here, right?
Okay.
So you are 49.
48.
And you go 48. And you go, I want to be like Tom Cruise and be a Top Gun pilot.
Oh, Jesus.
That ain't happening, right? That ain't happening.
Yeah, something slightly less physically needed. Yeah.
But this is the problem that we get with kids. So we talk to young children, right? And it's like, what are you going to be when you want to grow up? And they think that's what they're going to be, and they're going to be happy for the rest of their life.
Yep.
Right? Then you get them into university or wherever they're working on their degree. And you say to them, why do you want to be the doctor, dentist, lawyer, whatever, police officer, or like firefighter? Why do you want to be that person? Like, well, I want to help people. Okay, well, now we're vague because you could flip burgers and that's still helping people, right?
I think that the ability to help people, it's whatever your definition might be, is enough.
Yeah.
Whatever that definition is.
That's the problem is I don't think people have a good definition because now we're getting people in their chosen career with all this debt and they're going, yeah, this isn't the job I thought it was going to be.
No, but if you had that feeling of you were helping people, what if you had a thankless job that helped people?
A thankless job that helped people.
Mm.
Well, I think receiving some sort of acclaim or something, some gratitude is an important thing.
It is, but let's just say you're in a career where, okay, firefighters.
Yeah.
Thankful. People are thankful for a firefighter.
Yes.
Ambulance driver. People are thankful for a firefighter. Thankless. I mean, I would say there's interactions with the police that probably not getting a lot of kudos.
They don't turn out so good. Right. You look at things like janitor. Nobody thanks the janitor. Right.
There you go. Thankless, but you're doing a job that's helping everybody in that school or everybody in the building. And there are guys that love what they do. There are janitors that love being a janitor.
They do. I mean, it's generally a no bullshit job. You take a custodian in a school, everyone thinks they're like just some dumb schmuck that takes out garbage cans, and it's like the most important career in the school.
Right. And that guy has job security. Or let's just say you're a garbage man.
Yeah.
Thank Christ we have garbage guys.
Right? California, garbage men are one of the strongest unions in the state, I'd heard.
I was in New York years ago, and they had New York's bravest are the firefighters.
Yeah.
New York's finest are the police. Yeah. New York's strongest are the garbage guys.
Yeah. Well, do you remember how bad New York was in the early 80s?
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole the city was broken, all the firefighters were on strike.
Yep.
And there was garbage everywhere. There's rats running around the streets and everything, which is, the whole Batman thing, like Superman, crime everywhere back in the 80s. And, the perception, it looks so very different in the old Superman movies, right?
Right.
Because it was a messy, dirty, crime-ridden city.
For sure.
And now it's totally different.
It's like the Winnipeg of the States.
Yeah.
And
it's
again,
nice now.
It's nice now. I love New York. I would go back in a heartbeat. I'd love to take Kelsey to New York because I really, really enjoyed New York. And I think it's just a cool city.
But to really show the importance of having that job, which is generally really thankless, how vital it was for the entire city turning around again.
Giuliani had a lot to do with that when he got in.
Yeah.
As far as cleaning up the crime. And he went after small crime. They had the cops going out there picking up jaywalkers. And that just happened to have warrants.
Yeah.
Littering. He was grabbing small crime and grabbing big crime. It was a genius idea.
That's the old school police mentality from back then. That's why they pulled people over for like a busted headlight.
Yep.
Okay. It wasn't because you have a busted headlight. It's just a convenient excuse to pull you over and see if you're doing something illegal.
Do you remember back when we were kids, the police had they'd have their sidearm, they'd have their handcuffs, they had their stick.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yes.
They weren't in full
battle armor and everything. Yeah.
Right. So what changed? Did policing change or did society change?
I think both. I was reading a book about modern day policing, and they were talking about how much it's drastically changed from, say, Rodney King.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Which isn't that long ago, realistically, but it is also, right?
Mid-90s.
Yeah. So when we think about modern day policing, we kind of have to look at it as it's not really that old and proven. It's still evolving very quickly.
It is. Hang on a sec. Polar Bear said, did I stay at the World Plaza? No, I stayed at the Manhattan Club, which is right across from, oh God, what is the amphitheater? Where they do the plays and the operas? We're right down from Times Square.
Carnegie
Hall. I was right across from Carnegie Hall.
That's
and cool. And it was super cool. I remember we happened to be in New York, and a buddy of mine from Dauphin, who now lives in Africa, happened to be in Manhattan at the same time we were there. And we got a hold of him, and we ended up meeting in Greenwich Village, and we call them Dauphin Premix, where you buy a bottle of rum, and everybody would buy a bottle of Diet Coke, and you swig back half of it and then top it up with rum.
Yeah.
And we went to Chinatown, man. I bought like fake Gucci bags and all this shit. Had a hockey bag that I had to haul back to our hotel through the subway system at 4 a.m.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
Fantastic. And incredibly safe city, like very safe city. But no, the World Plaza, I don't even know where the World Plaza is. I'm sure I'll walk by it. But I recommend everybody go to New York at least once in your life because it is everything you think it would be.
Yeah, really.
It's super cool. Yeah. And again, people are well respected. Like even the police are so nice and so well respected there. Like it's hard to believe that New York has a bad vibe, but there's always going to be bad neighborhoods somewhere.
No, it's bad history for quite a long time too, right? So.
Of course it is. But yeah, when it comes down to how old is too old, whenever you feel like you're done, if you're going to tap out, but don't bitch that you tapped out is kind of the
make the conscious decision to actually do it.
Right. So my message in all this, if you feel like you can do it, do it. If you feel that the odds are against you, do it. What's the problem with failing?
Yeah.
Like even if you get further than the guy behind you, and the other guy and another guy gets the gig, dude, you made some strides that you shouldn't have been able to make by the stats of everything. You shouldn't have been able to get to where you got. And if you get there, man, grab it. Like, again, Pebbles knows, and it's insane. But tell you what, balls to the wall is how it has to go.
All in. Otherwise, what's the point of trying?
Exactly. Don't half-ass anything. Whole-ass everything, or don't even try at all.
Yep, exactly.
But I think that you, like Jay, you've reinvented yourself multiple times, and that's great. And it's all within your wheelhouse. Which is
and perfect. There's the funny thing is when I went back and did my osteo, that was 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And people were saying you're too old to go back to school. It's like I was 32.
That's not that old.
Right?
Okay. What about let's just say somebody my age, and you said, hey, you know what? I'm going to give this a shot. And the feedback you're going to get is, why would you start now? You're not even going to get a full pension.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about the pension.
I think the only thing you really need to consider, and it's like when you get into late 40s, early 50s of career change, is the understanding that it's going to be a little bit different for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how long do you want to keep doing it?
Well, it comes down to how long do you want to keep doing what you're doing?
Yeah.
Right? So if the window opens or that door opens a crack, you better go and look and see what's on the other side of the door.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to regret it. If you didn't look, you're going to be pissed at yourself because you had the chance to look.
Well, that's the thing, right? And I think a lot of people right now are just quite simply caught up too much into the fear of what other people would think.
Well, again, there you go. People older than me that are taking college, go to college, go to school, learn a trade, learn a new career, become an astronaut if you can. If you can physically do the job and mentally do the job, do it. You know what you would bring to the table as someone who's a little bit older?
Yeah.
You bring a little bit of life experience, which I always thought was bullshit because what do? I cut hair, sell houses, and talk silly shit on the internet.
That's the thing. People are like, they want life experience. It's like, well, how am I supposed to get life experience if I can't get my life going, right? And that's kind of the big question.
Chronologically speaking, you live a life, you have life experience. You're going to go through things that have nothing to do with work that are going to make you a better employee to somebody, right?
Yeah.
So I think that when people question themselves, if you're questioning why you're going to work, then you shouldn't be questioning the change you can make.
Right. Exactly. Or sort of, how are you going to reinvent? How are you going to change things? How you make things more interesting, right?
Right. You're still you, but suddenly you're waking up with purpose. You're doing this thing that's suddenly rewarding and you feel, holy shit, I shouldn't be here, but I am.
There's the danger of making your identity your career. You know?
There's a problem. And there are people that describe it.
Like you have that when you talk to people for the first time. Hey, I'm so-and-so. What do you do? Who are you? What do you do? Right.
And that will adjust the level of respect you think you have to give that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So that's why for years I would go and never ask what you did for work. Never. I just wouldn't ask.
Yeah. See, you're lucky. That's one of the first questions I have to ask because it's particularly relevant.
Because of what
but
they
it
do
doesn't. Yeah, because it can cause different injuries. But and I can always tell when I have a professional in, right? Because they don't want to say. They're just like, because they know that certain careers demand the perception of a hierarchy, right?
Like which careers?
Say you were a lawyer or a doctor or something, right?
Okay. I have a dude that's been coming to me for years.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was a flippin' surgeon.
Right.
Until 6 years ago. I'm like, you shitting me? You operate on that? He goes, yeah. I'm like, you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it unless you asked it. And if you didn't ask it, then you get to know the person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it makes more sense. Learn about the person.
Yeah. It's more fun that way.
Jay, how long have I known you?
Oh, God. I don't know. It's what, about 30 years?
And I still have no idea what the hell you do for work.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you're an osteopath.
To be fair, I don't either some days.
Right. But it doesn't matter.
Make it up as you go along, right?
Exactly. I don't know. I think that everybody's got an opportunity. Yeah. And if you say no, Richard Branson said, it's a quote that is stuck in my head for years.
Yeah.
And I think you know which one I'm going to say. He said, if someone offers you an opportunity and you don't know how to do it, say yes and figure it out.
I thought you were going to say his other one. Screw it. Let's do it.
Screw it. Let's do it. Like, and what do you got to lose? What do you got to lose? Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
nope, nothing at all.
There's nothing
People
wrong with trying.
You. Okay, there was. Do you remember Adam Sandler?
I'm familiar with the gentleman. Yes.
Yeah, you're familiar of him, right? So he did that skit way back in the '90s. Oh, mom, and it's like him saying what he wants to do or whatever, and the mom goes, "No, they're all gonna laugh at you.
They're gonna laugh at you." Yeah, right? I remember that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and everything he does. No, they're all gonna laugh at you. It's like, and I used to think it was the craziest, funniest thing ever back then, right? And now I'm looking at it going, everyone has that voice in their head that's saying that.
Everybody has that voice in their head, and you got to remember this: the voice in your head is your own voice.
Yeah,
it's your voice. And when you have, they're all gonna laugh at you. Do you know how many questions my dad had for me when I said I was gonna go to hair school?
Oh yeah.
He's like, "Is there anything else you'd like to tell us?" I'm like, nope, nothing I can think of. But it was, and even my friends like, "You're doing what?" I'm like, "You know what? I'm gonna give it a crack."
Yeah,
and I did.
Is there anything else you want to tell us? Yeah, I bought a Miata. Right.
That doesn't help the case. I'll tell you that right now. But no, it's. Let's just. What would be the craziest job that you would not take, but if you said, "Hey, Quentin, I'm going to blank," and expect people to be like, "Are you shitting me?"
Oh my God. Okay. I don't know.
Let's reverse it. What do you think the craziest job would be that someone, if I said, "Hey, I'm going to do this," and people are like, "Fuck off." You name one for me and I'll name one for you.
There, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So
I think my earbuds are just dying out. So
okay, we're gonna wrap this up right away. But if I said, okay, Jay, what's an insane job that you would say, hey, if I said, hey Jay, I'm gonna try this, you'd be like, fuck off. And I'll try and pick one out for you where I'd be like, really?
Okay. Military.
You couldn't see me in the military?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think you would be the person who'd be willing to go overseas.
Yeah, I'm not big on traveling. Right. You got me on that one.
Let alone leaving your family, right?
Yeah, that's a tough one for me. Yeah, leaving the family is hard. I have a real tough time with that. You know that though. For you, I would say if you said, hey, it'd be like, hey, if I said, hey, Jay, I'm going to go join the army, you'd be like, fuck off. And for me, I would say that if you said, Quentin, I'm going to, what can I not? I could see you doing anything you want to do though. That's the problem because you're that guy. But what would I be questioning? Be like, are you shitting me? I'm going to pursue a career in stand-up comedy.
Oh, jeez. Could you imagine? No.
I think you're funny. There's no doubt.
No,
but
it's like the Seinfeld of comedy, right?
Yeah, 100%.
You know, it'd be like that's what it would be, right?
However, Jay, if you said, "Hey, I'm going to pursue a career in stand-up comedy," like, yeah, okay, but I would want to see you do it.
Well, of course, and I mean that'd be the best part. Like I think that's the biggest thing that I noticed with some of those comedians, right? Is how they do it and perfect their craft. They go to the little podunk towns and put on some show in a rough, town that nobody knows about, right?
Yep.
And they just practice and practice and practice and practice and record their shows and go back and work on it. But most people don't spend that self-evaluation like comedians or anyone. Like how many careers are constantly under video surveillance?
I'd say jail guard, probably.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. Like your performance is not judged as strictly as it is in comedy. But if you say, hey, Quentin, I'm going to become a stand-up comic. I've quit my job. Like, the fuck did you do? Yeah, I quit my job. I'm going to become a stand-up comic. I'm like, holy shit. Have you written anything? Not yet. I'm going to. I got plans.
Like, no. I've got some ideas. It's like,
I got some ideas, man. Big ideas. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Bigly ideas.
Do it. No, I think that we're scared of change. We're scared of doubt. And you have nothing to lose by trying. Because I'll tell you right now. And again, Pebbles knows. If this doesn't happen, I got nothing to lose.
Well, I think that's one of the big things. Okay, so a lot of people will be like, just Because there's the old saying, don't quit your day job.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's pretty important because you don't want to throw away your security the chances of doing some sort of crazy thing that came to you in a weird idea. Like, okay, here we go. It's like, yeah, Quentin, I've quit everything. I'm shutting the business. I'm not selling my business. I'm shutting it all down.
Yep.
And I'm going to go to Winnipeg because I want to be an actor. You'd be like, no, you're not.
Well,
That's a bad idea,
And I've done it, but I haven't burned the boat to do it.
Right. There was an actress I saw at stage. Saw her doing a live cast on Instagram, and like she's been in quite a few things.
Mm-hmm.
But she says, in Hollywood, 99% of the actors are it's just a job. Only 1% gets really successfully free and able to choose things. The rest of us just have to go to audition, and get told, no, you're not good enough. No, you're not good enough. Like 1,000 times.
The thing is, if someone says, no, you're not good enough, that's fine. I'm not good for this.
Yeah.
I'm good for something. Like, to be fair, my acting gigs are pretty much all the same. Big, bad guy or good guy with a gun. You got this, Pebbles. I love that you're so enthusiastic. Every step I take, I believe, is possibly the last. So I just take things in stride, and what will be will be. Because hey, I'll push it to the end.
When do you find out
about this last little step that I took? Monday.
Oh wow!
And then it's going to be a big step.
It's going to be a weekend, eh?
But here's the thing: you can shit the bed on the next step. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
You make it through one thing, and then you could be done there. Then you take the next thing. I could be done there. Who knows? And then you go to the next thing, and you could be done there. And then it goes to the next thing. And you might be done there. Like, there's so many steps that go into this, and it's the process. I believe it's absolutely amazing. Like,
it's almost like life, isn't it? Eh?
It's like marriage, and it's like dating. You can screw up dating so much. Like, you can screw up every possible step of the courting ritual.
Yeah.
And end up with nothing and sink years into it. Or, hey, you know what? You get past this, you get past that, you get past that.
Yeah.
We have
little achievements so you move along the way.
Little achievements. And you know what? When it comes down to it, I think that if you have, it takes some fortitude.
Yeah.
To keep going, even if you think that there is teeny little chance this could happen. Tiny little chance this could happen. Like, it was okay. I'll tell you this. It was easier for me to get into movies.
Yeah.
Than this shit.
That's fair. And that's not what people would think.
No. To get into like 2 Universal movies, I forget what the other one was, and some shows. That was easier than this. Isn't that insane?
It is crazy. How much did you get paid to be in some of those movies, though?
I can't say, but I got paid well because I have what they call special skills.
Yeah.
Weapons trained and stuff like that. So, I mean, I get paid well enough to do it.
That's fair.
Am I joining the circus?
Not when you started, though, right? Just a standing extra. It was not so wonderful.
No, actually, I got hired, one, because I looked mean and big, apparently, and because I was firearms trained. So I was right away. I was right away special skills. Am I joining the circus? Yes, I'm going to become a contortionist. I think that would be fantastic.
I think it would be good for your back. That's for sure.
That's got to be bad for your back. Like, can that be good? Okay,
it's fine for them.
Can that be good for you?
It's fine for them. Yeah.
Seriously, like a contortionist looks like it's really bad for everything you're doing.
As long as the problem is they got to stay really fit. You don't
see a lot of heavy people doing that.
No, and when you have that flexibility, if you stop using it, you lose it, and you start creating a lot of instabilities too because they're just so flexible, right? So they can have some problems.
Absolutely. No, I think
so can the average person just by eating McDonald's every day. So I mean, take your pain point, right?
Dude, we're also at that age where if you sneeze wrong, you can hurt yourself.
Oh God, I roll out of bed sometimes and I was like, what did I do?
Did you ever
so well?
How the hell do we go from being gym rats to farting too hard and throwing your back out.
Oh, I blame COVID. So in all honesty, the number of times I've had people be like, "Oh, yeah, I used to work out all the time," and then COVID came, and I look at them and go, "That was 5 years ago."
Here's something interesting, and I watched this video. We're gonna wrap up right away, guys. But I was watching this guy, and he was older than me at the gym. And he's talking about people not having time to work out. And he goes around to everybody working out. He goes, "Hey, man, how many hours a week do you work?" He goes, 40. Yeah. Another guy, 60, 50, 40, 40, 40. He goes, "Huh, you guys are working 40, 50, 60 hours a week and you got time to be here?"
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Everybody has an hour. Don't lie to me. Everybody has an hour. Mine's at 4 a.m. Some people's, it's going to be at 6 p.m. You have an hour. And either you make time for your health, or you're gonna make time for your sickness. What do you want to make time for?
Well, when you get older and you're confined to a wheelchair, you're gonna have all the time in the world, right?
I wonder what it would take to put me in a wheelchair. Like I took a big fall, man, back in the day. I think I told you about that, right?
Yeah.
I shouldn't be walking, but I am.
Well, it's amazing how resilient the body is. It really is.
Yeah, I think that we've got your body is tougher than you think, and your body wants to heal. That's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
So again,
it doesn't want you to slow down because that tiger might get you, right? The saber-tooth tiger can always eat you.
It could.
So I mean, he's keep you moving.
Maybe I'm a harder target now because I can run now.
But now you have cardiovascular. I mean, but it's not really how fast you go. It's just you got to run faster than the person next to you.
Yeah, I'll hang out with somebody who's heavier and slower than I am.
Yeah, just trip them. You'll be fine.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, you know what? We're gonna wrap up.
Yeah, time to quit.
What's your word? What's your word of wisdom for the guy or girl who is up there in age, thinking, you know what, I want to do this, but should I?
Yeah, the word of wisdom for that is, why wouldn't you? What else are you going to do?
I believe 100%. Like if you go really CrossFit, there's a guy in a wheelchair that goes to CrossFit regularly. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that, hey guys, thanks, Pebbles.
Yeah,
I'm working
awesome. Thanks, Pebbles.
I would say that you either live with moments you can be proud of, or you can live with a lot of regret. And I think that we live with a lot of regret when we don't take the chances, or I should have. Yeah. And it's no different than walking away from a conversation saying, shit, I should have said that. We beat ourselves up over things like that more than, man, I really should have done that. So go do it. Like, unless you're going to really screw your life up.
Yep.
Really screw it up.
But seriously, with the number of safeguards and everything in the world, you got to work pretty hard to screw things up nowadays.
You have to, you can do anything. If you can screw up anything, if you do it wrong enough, just do it right.
Yep.
So, no, I think that whatever you're at, whatever age you're at, whether you're going to college, whether you're, Zumba's okay, Bernice teaches Zumba. Zumba, I don't want to ask how old you are, but she's definitely our age or a tickle higher. And she could go circles around both of us.
Easily. Yep.
So yeah, tell me I can't do it, please.
You guys could do cardio. I don't even like driving more than a couple kilometers. So
you know what I find interesting?
How bad it is.
You know what I find interesting about driving, and this is where I was talking to the kids about this. Like, right-handed, left-handed.
Yeah.
Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Me, right-handed.
Okay, so you do everything with your right hand. That's your dominant hand, correct?
Mostly, yes.
What do you trust your left hand for anything? Really?
Some things I do. Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting how we can't wipe our butts with our left hand, but we'll drive a weapon amongst weapons down the highway.
Yeah. No, that's an absolute nightmare. Yep, exactly.
It doesn't make any sense. Our reaction time's horrible with our left hand, but that's what most of us drive with.
Yep.
5-speed manuals. That's why.
That's it.
Anyway,
leave everybody with trained on that.
It does. We'll leave everybody with that thought.
It there. Yeah.
Oh, you turned your camera off.
No, I lost it there. There we go. Good.
Okay, guys. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. I'm glad you guys come and listen to us rattle on for a couple hours, and we love having you. And go enjoy the weather, even if it's shitty. How about that?
It's always going to be amazing. It's summertime.
Are you way older? There's no way you're that much older than us. Pebbles, when I can let the cat out of the bag, you're going to hear all about it. And it probably won't only be from me. So
it'll be fun. It'll be a good time.
It's fun. Hey, it's a process, man.
Yep.
Okay,
then
guys.
he's got to go for a TV show, and you'll be good.
You wonder if they'd make a show about something like this.
I don't know. I don't know if it would catch on. I think it's maybe too meta.
It's too crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Enjoy your weekend.
Have a good night.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks, everybody. Be safe.